What's up guys, Ame here with another video. One of the most exciting changes in TBC is the addition of heroic dungeons. These higher difficulty dungeons add another aspect to endgame content. The most exciting thing of course being the sweet, juicy purple loot you can get inside of them. Heroics add a badge of justice system, and I did another video looking at how badges work and the loot you can get with them. But in this one, I want to go over the loot that actually drops in the dungeons, and some of this loot is incredibly powerful. Now, while everyone loves those juicy purple items, there are some blue items that even drop in normal dungeons that are incredibly overpowered as well. In this one, we'll take a look at some of the best items you can get in both heroic and normal dungeons to gear your character out with, and focus mainly on items that aren't only pre-bis, but can last you into phase 2 raiding and beyond. Let's get into it. Starting off in the first dungeon we'll experience in the Outlands, we're heading to heroic Ramparts. If you're a caster and need some hit, Omar the Unscarred drops the Crimson Bracers of Gloom. Now these bracers are fantastic and are some of the only bracers with spell hit on them that are actually good. And not only good, but great. If you don't need the hit, there's some other options like the General Silk Cuffs, which flex crit instead of hit, and also have a yellow socket and can be picked up through PvP with honor points and marks of honor. But if you're thirsty for that hit and need it for hit cap, these are some of the only bracers that have hit on them, and they're competitively best in slot into Tempest Keep and Serpentine Cavern. Staying in Hellfire Citadel and making our way over to Heroic Blood Furnace, the Maker holds an item for Rep Paladins that is honestly best in slot for the whole game. So all those cute little female blood elves running around will be running this daily until they get it. The Librum of Avengement, which causes your judgments to have a chance to increase your critical strike rating by 53 for 5 seconds. Throw this item on a Rep Paladin, put them in an Enhance Shaman's group, and let those happy dopamines flow when this Librum procs with Wind Fury at the same time. Heading up a level to the Shattered Halls, Warchief Kargath Bladefist drops some absolutely insane boots for prop paladins, Boots of the Righteous Path. For any prop paladin wanting to pump as much threat as they can, these will be their go-to boots, and not just for pre-bis. If you're wanting pure spell power to pump that threat, these will be the best spell power boots until you can get the Veterans Lamellar Greaves in PvP Season 2, so a much needed pickup for prop paladins looking to fill out that threat set. Warchief Kargath also drops another really good item that alone is just a good piece, but in the set is amazing. The Wastewalker Gloves, lots of agility and stam, some attack power, and 2 sockets. Nothing crazy, right? What makes these great is the 2 set bonus, increasing hit rating by a massive 35. This set is great for any class that needs that extra hit, but especially good for Feral Cat Druids, but mainly this set is for rogues. Even at hit cap, that bonus hit rating is a huge power spike, and you can realistically rock this 2-piece set into phase 2 raiding in Tempest Keep or Serpentine Cavern if you really wanted to. The chest piece is the part of the set that drops in a heroic dungeon, just around the bend from Shattered Halls and Heroic Blood Furnace off of Caladan the Breaker. Most rogues will want to pair the gloves with the chest or with the shoulders that drop off of Avatar of the Martyred in both normal and heroic. Let's see if I can say this right. Auchenai Crypts over in Auchendoon. Heading up to Tempest Keep in Netherstorm, let's take a look at Pathleon and Heroic Mechanar. He drops Boots of the Pious, which are great for Resto Druids and Holy Priests. Now these can easily be replaced in phase 1 with boots like Boots of the Incorrupt off of Shade of Iran or with Forest Lord Striders from the chess event in Kara. But these boots flex some of the highest healing power a cloth or leather wearing healer can get in phase 1. Yes, there are the Gold Leaf Wild Boots that do have more healing power, but the likelihood of getting World Boss loot is slim to 1. It ain't gonna happen. So these can be a solid pickup if you're going for a full healing power build or just can't get lucky with drops in Karazhan. While we're in Mechanar, I want to highlight the Thorium Weave Cloak that can be found in normal as well as heroic. This cloak is about on par with the Gilded Thorium Cloak off of Ilhoof and Karazhan for bear tanks, and since it drops in normal, you can farm to your heart's content for it and easily wear it into phase 2 raiding. In the Caverns of Time, we not only get a chance to go back in time and take part in some of the best WoW lore moments of all time, but there's some sweet loot in store for those that take down the Epoch Hunter in Old Hillsbrad Foothills. In Heroic, we have the Sparking Arcanite Ring. This ring is the perfect blend of spell power, hit, and crit. It's the catch-all ring for you casters that love these stats and need all of them. It doesn't stand out in any one of these categories, but if you just need a little more hit, you can pick up this ring and benefit greatly from the spell power and crit that comes with it. In Heroic mode as well, there's the Nightfall Wrist Guards. These things are hands down disgusting. With leatherworking not being as lucrative as it was before, a lot of rogues, cats, and enhanced shamans will want to pick these up, and you can easily ride these out into phase 2 of raiding. Now before you leave the Caverns of Time, these same classes, you rogues, ferals, enhanced shamans, you'll want to head on over to Heroic Black Morass for arguably one of the best pieces of heroic armor, Girdle of the Death Dealer. This thing is absolutely ridiculous. 28 agility and stamina, 20 hit rating, and 56 attack power. Just an all-around solid melee DPS leather belt. This belt can be replaced in phase 1 with Grand Stitch Girdle off of Gruul for you enhanced shamans, but for cats and especially rogues, this belt is seriously incredibly good and can be used until you get the coveted Belt of 100 Deaths off of Lady Vosh. This belt is a whole other story. It has no business being as good as it is and will be fought over by seriously every single melee class, as it doesn't get replaced until Sunwell Plateau. Over in Zangarmarsh, we have the Coilfang Reservoir. Head down into the water pump, into the steam vaults, and you'll find Warlord Calathresh, who is holding on to a blue tanking cloak that is just fundamentally solid, checks all the mitigation boxes. Devil Shark Cape flexes 22 stamina, 20 defense, 18 dodge, and increases block value by 29. Prot warriors and prot pallies can pick this up in normal steam vaults while dungeon grinding for Cenarian rep or levels, and use it all the way into phase 2 or even beyond if you get unlucky with drops. An easy pickup that should definitely be on your list. So that was the armor, which is good, you know, powerful, all that stuff. But now for the crown jewel of dungeon loot in the Outlands, the Trinkets. Oh man, the trinkets you can get in dungeons are absolutely ridiculous in TBC. In an expansion that is very limited on gearing options that last for multiple phases, these trinkets break that mold. Let's start it off with the one item everyone was probably thinking about when they saw the title of this video. From Steam Vaults, head right over to Heroic Slave Pens for your shot at Quagmiren's Eye. This drops off of Quagmiren, of course, and if you haven't played TBC before or you don't know what this item is, it's the one trinket that every single caster wants. It has a base equip effect of 37 spell power, nothing too crazy, right? Like, it's solid. But the chance on hit is what seals the deal. Your harmful spells have a chance to increase your spell haste rating by 320 for 6 seconds, an absolute massive amount of haste. This early in TBC, haste on gear is incredibly rare, and this trinket can actually be used very far into the game, arguably into Sunwell Plateau. Casters will be constantly looking for Heroic Slave Pens groups to get this trinket, and it's one of the fastest dungeons to get Badges of Justice in as well, so Heroic Slave Pens runs will be being advertised a ton. While you're in the Slave Pens, you'll kill Menu the Betrayer, who also drops a solid totem for Resto Shamans, Totem of Spontaneous Regrowth, which increases the base heal amount of Healing Wave. Resto Shamans obviously only cast one spell 99.9% of the time, the Chain Heal Zug Zug, but for those instances where you're single target healing a lot, this totem is solid to just have laying around or to use until you get Totem of Healing Rains in Karazhan. Heading back to the Caverns of Time, I'm sure you were wondering why I didn't talk about these trinkets then, but we have two incredibly strong trinkets that drop in Black Morass. These also drop in normal, so you'll be able to farm to your heart's content until you can get them. Hourglass of the Unraveler increases critical strike rating and has a chance on hit to increase attack power by 300 for 10 seconds. Phase 1 best in slot for a lot of physical damage classes is Bloodlust Brooch and the infamous Dragonspine trophy, and the likelihood of getting Dragonspine is pretty low. It already has a low drop chance, and with so many classes needing it, it can be a very elusive trinket. Until then, Hourglass of the Unraveler is incredibly good and can be easily used into phase 2 and beyond, so you hunters, rogues, enhanced shamans, warriors, pretty much anyone that does physical damage, pick this up because it can be very hard to replace. Off the next boss in Black Morass is Scarab of the Infinite Cycle, the healing equivalent of Quagmiren's Eye. This gives base healing, and then on heal cast has a chance to increase haste rating by 320. This trinket is great, with the chance for haste coming in clutch in a lot of scenarios where you need to pump those heals out. I'd personally say it gets its most use on Resto Shamans, who are spamming those chain heals in the raid and lack instant cast spells, but a great pickup at least for pre-bis for all healers. Making our way up to Tempest Keep, the Botanica is home to a healing trinket that has no business being a blue item. This trinket is epic quality and will last healers a very long time. The Bangle of Endless Blessings, which has a chance on spellcast to allow 15% of your mana regeneration to continue while casting for 15 seconds, and then a use of Increasing Spirit by 130 for 20 seconds. This trinket is like liquid gold for Resto Druids and Holy Priests who thrive off of Spirit and can get that added mana regen. Pair this with the Primal Mooncloth set that allows 5% of mana regen to continue while casting, throw a Shadow Priest in your group, and you're never going I kid you not, you could use this trinket very late into the game as a healing druid or priest, so head on up to Botanica and loot it off Warp Splinter. Last up, a trinket that doesn't see a lot of use in raids but sees a lot of use in the game, the figurine of the Colossus off of War Chief Kargath and Shattered Halls. This trinket is a must-have for the drone of Blood Elf Paladins that will want to AoE farm Stratholme. Once you get it, you'll be able to handle big ol' packs of mobs. Pop this thing and get healed to full while you block all the incoming attacks. It's not best in slot on the PvE side of things, but out of all the items on this list, you'll arguably use the most with the amount of paladins that will be AoE dungeon farming. The amount of dungeon content there is in the Outlands is astounding, and all of this loot and more adds to the overall game experience in TBC. If you enjoyed this video, guys, or found it helpful, maybe hit that like and subscribe button on your way out. It helps my channel grow and allows me to pursue my hobby and create even more content for you guys, and I greatly appreciate it. I'm also live on Twitch throughout the week. Catch the link below and pop in and say hi sometime. You can also hang out in the Discord, ask any TBC questions you may have, and catch my full streaming schedule. These were just some of the best items you can get in my opinion, but I know I missed some great items, so let me know in the comments below. Now just remember, I tried to keep this list to items that are completely best in slot for more than one phase. There are a ton of great items that are pre-bis but can get replaced in phase 1 that I left off this list because if I talked about all of them, this video would go on forever. That's it for me today though, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.